Hi guys, welcome to my channel Lush Gardener. I hope you guys are fine and are safe at home. So guys, today we are going to learn how to make a perfect succulent arrangement. Now what's so difficult about making an arrangement? Guys, there are certain things that you'll have to keep in mind while making a succulent arrangement so that your succulent arrangement does not fall apart within few months but will last for years to come. So while creating a beautiful succulent arrangement, there are three important things that you need to consider, namely thrillers, spillers and fillers. Now these play a very important role while making a beautiful succulent arrangement. Now guys, while creating a succulent arrangement, the first pick is a thriller. Now this is the main feature of your succulent arrangement and should be large, tall. It should be the first thing for people to notice in your arrangement. So guys, the next pick is filler. Now these are supporting plants and should fill in and around the thriller. Ideally they should complement the thriller in terms of color and texture. Now guys, just because this is an arrangement does not mean that you make it too compact and crowded, because at the end of the day succulents need to have good space in order to increase good air circulation, so don't add too many of succulents. Finally, select a spiller that spills over the side of the container like string of pearls, donkey tails or a trailing sedum. Now here I am using a trailing sedum for this arrangement. You can use any one of your choice. Now guys, this is how your succulent arrangement will be complete by using these three important things. Now guys, it's not necessary that you have to use all the three components. You can even skip one of them. For example, you can make an arrangement with only fillers and spillers, or you can make an arrangement with only thriller and filler. So it all depends upon what succulents are available with you. So guys, if you want to create a succulent arrangement, there are few things about choosing the right succulent to go together. Now succulents already look good on their own, still there are certain techniques to make the arrangement stand out. Also, knowing which succulent can be planted together will save you the time and effort in caring for their growth. Now guys, there are so many succulent varieties, and if you want to arrange the succulents, a rule of thumb is to choose those with similar needs. In order to start with the arrangement, look for a container that complements the succulents in terms of shape, color, size. Make sure that the pot is not too big and has a drain hole. The first one to go are thrillers. Now as I've said that thrillers are the star of the arrangements, I usually prefer to put my thrillers at the edge of the pot and then I add some fillers. Now fillers are usually to be added in and around the thriller. Now guys, one advice would be whenever you're making an arrangement, do not make it permanent in the first go. Do not add too much of soil, because in case if you do not like a particular plant in a particular location, you can definitely change it. Because if you're going to add soil and make it permanent, it will be very difficult to remove all the soil and then remove all the succulent. It will become quite a stressful job. In fact, it will be very stressful for the plants as well. So ensure that you do a pre-planning, exactly what you want and exactly where you want the plants to go in. Just keep them temporary and maybe you can make any changes. Probably if you want to remember where you placed a particular succulent, you can probably take a picture, and then when you're making the permanent setup, you can just take a look at the picture and then form them accordingly. So guys, some important things while making succulent arrangements: ensure that your pots have a drain hole and are slightly bigger than the plant. Use a well draining soil, because in case if your soil is not well draining, then it's going to be a complete mess, because you'll have to remove all the soil and all your hard work of making the arrangement will go down the drain. So ensure that you have a well draining soil. Ensure that the succulents that you have placed in are of the same requirement. That is, if the succulents need more sun, then tend to keep succulents only of that variety, because in case if you mix two different varieties of succulents that have two different requirements, then again it's going to be a mess and your arrangement will fall apart very soon. For example, if you're going to mix echeverias and havartias, that will not work very well, because havartias tend to like indirect sunlight and like slightly moist soil, whereas succulents like full morning direct sunlight and like to be watered very less. So imagine if you're going to mix these two different varieties of succulents together, then either one is going to get burnt in the sun or might get overwatered, or the other way around, the succulent might start getting stretched or might get overwatered. So you have to make sure that whatever arrangement that you're making of succulents or whatever succulents that you're selecting should have the same requirements, and that will work out very well. Otherwise, very soon your succulent arrangement will fall apart. So guys, I've gone ahead and added another thriller to the arrangement, thus completing the arrangement. Though the arrangement looks very compact, but there is enough space for them to grow. Anyways guys, succulents do take a lot of time, especially echeverias take a lot of time to grow. So this arrangement will easily last for more than a year and a half. Definitely I will have to do a little bit of cutting here and there, but then this type of succulent arrangements last for a very long time. So guys, my succulent arrangement is now ready, and if you notice, majority of my succulents are echeverias. Now guys, I personally prefer to keep majority of my succulents of same requirements in terms of watering, sunlight and soil. So this makes things much easy, and it is much easier to maintain these succulents because these kinds of arrangements can last for a year and a half. Now in the same way, if I had used two different varieties of succulents which had two different requirements, then things would have been much more difficult, especially in terms of maintaining them. So there you go guys, with these tips you can create an amazing succulent arrangement. Now as I said that these arrangements can last for minimum 1 year, but definitely if you're going to take good care and if you're going to maintain it very well, then definitely these succulent arrangements can last for years to come. So guys, the next question is, how do we water such arrangements? Because these are very compact and slightly crowded kind of arrangements, and if you're going to water it from above, then definitely the water will fall onto the leaves, which we do not want it to happen. Now guys, usually bottom watering is the best option for such arrangements, but my pot has these stands, so it's going to be very difficult to do a bottom watering for my arrangement. So guys, what I'm going to be doing here is I have a DIY bottle that I had prepared it long back, which has a long nozzle, as you can see in this image. Now this is what's going to help me water my arrangement without dropping any kind of water onto the leaves. All I have to do is just use the tube and try to put it in between those succulents wherever I find space and do the watering. Now in this way it's very safe for me because none of the water will be getting onto the leaves, because what's going to happen is when the arrangement or when there are crowded succulents and if water happens to stay between the leaves, it's very difficult to get rid of the water, and over time if the water happens to stay, there is a high risk that the succulents will start to rot. So always be careful whenever you have arrangements like this. Do not do a top watering, always either go for bottom watering or you can water your succulents with a pipe like this. So guys, now that we spoke about arrangements, we mainly spoke about the structure, meaning the size of the succulent, the shape of the succulent, but there is another important thing that makes the succulent arrangement look outstanding, and that's the combination of colors. Now if you want to know a little more detail about them, there are three main ways to combine colors, namely monochromatic, analogous and complementary. So guys, for monochromatic arrangements, you'll need to put the succulents with the same colors but with different shades together. So guys, with analogous settings, you will group those with the colors sitting next to each other in the color wheel. For example, orange, yellow and green, basically giving an illusion of a rainbow. So last but not the least is complementary setting. It's colors that are opposite to each other on the color wheel, for example, red and green. So guys, with the help of structure and the combination of colors, you can make amazing succulent arrangements. But the most important thing what goes into an arrangement is you and your imagination. So guys, few things to remember. Your succulent pot or container should have a drain hole. The potting mix or the succulent mix must be well draining. Now guys, here I have not used any kind of pebbles or top dressing, but if you are creating a theme for your succulent arrangement, you can definitely use pebbles, rocks, you can use top dressing, or you can even use driftwood to give it a more dramatic look to your succulent arrangement. So guys, it all depends upon you, but these are the basic things you need to remember while making your succulent arrangement. So guys, I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please consider subscribing to my channel. Until then, take care, stay safe, bye bye.